Hello parents. We really are living in unprecedented times. I know that word is used a lot, but I have done orientations now for 30 years and I've never had to do this as a recording or to do it live. It's always been a privilege to meet you all and to see you all during orientation, but this is a reflection of the times we live in and the changes that we all have to make to adapt to this new form of learning that we've embarked on. Thank you for making this shift online. It has been a huge transition. I know that it has been a lot of work for parents, issues of computer use at home, having the right technology available for your children, all of those things. It has been a lot of work for our teachers. They've had to learn a new platform. Teaching on Google Classroom is not easy. Zoom lessons are easier because you're pretty much doing what you do in class, but making assignments, finding assignments, making slides. Teachers are working not just the 6 hours, but 8 to 12 hours a day. But together we've made a difference. So again, I think together we can keep making a difference, and I look forward to this year where we're going to make improvements on the program we had last year. And as per your recommendations, we will have some more live lessons. Parents of class 6 and 7, these are again now very crucial years for your children and crucial years for us at school, because your children are going through some very significant changes in who they are. They are from young children becoming young ladies and young men, and they're going through physical changes, they're going through emotional changes, and all of those obviously will also impact their school life and their learning. Let me first talk about the academics. So the first thing that changes is class 6 is in a sense a preparation for class 7, which is senior school, and which is more or less our O-level curriculum from there on. Right? So the books will change, there will be more textbooks, and the approach will be more like learning for their O-levels. What happens though in class 6 is now they have subject teachers. They no longer have that 2 teachers who are teaching them language, literature, maths, and unit. So there may be a teacher who teaches language and literature, but the science teacher will be different, social studies, Islamiyat. So they will have 7 or 8 subject teachers who will come in and teach their subject, which will be the pattern then also in 7, 8, and 9. So that will be the first change that they will feel in class 6. The academics will be a little more difficult than it was in class 5, but most students we find cope quite well. But they need to be a little more difficult because it prepares them actually for class 7. In class 7, the studies are harder. There is, as much as we try and avoid it, a bit of a jump in the academic expectation. But also students' grades tend to fall because there are 2 things that happen when children reach this age. And those 2 things are, important things are, one is that socializing becomes extremely important to them. Their friends and what their friends think of them is what is key in their lives, right? They are no longer as concerned about what the teachers think of them, or I'm sorry to say what you think of them. They want to impress their friends. That socializing has an impact on their school life. And the other thing that happens is that is quite natural when they are this age, is that they start to challenge authority. A young child does not become a man overnight or a woman. He goes through a phase, right? So from being someone who is used to listening to authority and following directions, he now starts to question authority. When you put those 2 things together in the classroom, it can be quite volatile sometimes, and it can be quite difficult for teachers sometimes. So we need your support in making it clear to teachers, to students, that a teacher's authority is inviolable and is not to be challenged. Students are not naughty or bad at this age. It is simply a phase that they are going through where they are neither children nor adults, and we need to support them in this. So what we do is we actually have something called Learning for Life classes that carry on in class 7, 8, and then even in a section in 9, and we focus on those things that happen. Because socializing is so important and being top of the food chain for a child is so important, bullying happens. These kids have not suddenly gone bad. They're trying to establish who is who in the food chain, right? Who is the top dog, who's next, who's after that. So we have a Learning for Life class on bullying. raising the awareness of bullying, what happens when kids are bullied, and we have a bullying policy in school which is explained to the kids on how bullying is not tolerated. Kids are on the internet. Please, the internet is amazing. Our learning online is happening because of the internet. It's a fantastic tool, but it has also got its dangers. There is a dark side of the web, and students need to be made aware of that. So in our Learning for Life class, we have a cyber safety component, but you all also need to be aware that children are looking at all kinds of things on the net. So please be aware of what your child is seeing on the internet. Okay, there is all kinds of things. I don't want to go into details, but children are seeing things that they're not old enough to understand or process at this point. By the end of class 8 and going to 9, they're also exposed, unfortunately, to drug abuse. They go to parties where drugs are freely available. So we have a drug abuse awareness session where we call in experts. This is not done by teachers. And they actually counsel children on what the use of drugs can do, how they affect you, what they do to your brain. And it's been a very useful program that we have done. So that will take place in class 9, but it's something you need to be aware of too as a parent. If you notice changes in behavior or things like that, please take it seriously, bring it to the school's notice. So that's one of the things that happen. And also we believe this is the time where children are experimenting and learning. So we have a class in entrepreneurship where children learn to make things. It's called Maker's Market. So they make things, think about starting a business, how to price it, what to sell for, and actually they have a very nice end of it display in which these things are displayed and parents come and buy those things. So all of these things are things that are outside of their classroom structure and their academics and allow them to grow as human beings and develop their skills. But they are still a difficult time, okay? Let me tell you now, class 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to be your trickiest years as far as academics and studies go. So support your children, but be firm. Okay, it's very important that you all do that. Children want independence, but you also, while giving them independence, have to be aware of where they are, where they're going, who they're with. So it is a balance of independence and structure. You can't just give them a phone, a driver, and let them do what they want to do. Okay, so please make sure that you're aware of this and that you keep tabs on them, that you know their parents. That's why it's so important that you know the friends of the children, who they're with, what those parents are like, what those parents allow in their home. Is it what you would allow in your home? So all those things are going to be a part of this new child as he becomes 12, 13, 14 years old. And it's an exciting age, but it's also an age where we need to keep an eye on them and look after them. And we need to do that together. Parents, I would like to end with, having seen students now again, I would like to share my 30 years of experience of working with kids from class 1 all the way to class 11. And their success in school, their academic success, and I'm talking about the kids who are, say, the top 10% or even the top 10 children in their classroom. This is not rocket science. We're not teaching them nuclear physics. What makes a difference to their school is their work ethic and their attitude. Those children who are committed to learning, who regularly do their homework, who prepare their tests, who come to school ready to learn, will do better in school. So if we can shape their attitude starting from kindergarten onwards, because it's very hard to change that once an attitude is set, you're going to make a whole lot of difference in terms of who they are when they graduate from Bayview Academy. So this attitude must reflect in all their school experiences. We have strongly welcomed, and your partnership and your help in getting the online program has been very important to us. But again, we need you all to stress that to your students, that this is school, that they must do this online program with the same seriousness that they do their schoolwork. Okay? And where necessary in kindergarten and 1, like I mentioned earlier, you all need to work with them to do the parts that teachers can't do because they're not physically in the room with your children. Zoom classes or not, you all will have to be part of it. But more than that, attitude comes from how do you speak about school? Remember, children are listening to everything. Children don't just listen when we talk to them, they listen when you talk to each other. So if you're talking to another parent and you are negative about school or about a teacher or about what's happening in school, that message is being transmitted to your child. I have seen parents, groups of children coming from certain families, and all, like for example, 3, 4, 5 of those kids are in the top 3 in their class for their whole. Now these kids are not geniuses, it's just those parents always stress schoolwork. They always say, school is right, that you need to do this, that please listen to your teacher, school work is important, right? What did you do in school today? Can I see your test? Where's your report card? Right? The more interest you show and the more you show, I can think of a better word, respect and positivity about their school experience, the more their attitude to learning is going to see them through school with the high grades that I know you all expect at the end. We all want our kids to get A's and A stars on their O levels, and many of our students do. But if you're going to start it in kindergarten, make school a positive thing, make school a fun thing, and make school an important thing. Your children learn from you. Your children are mini yous. We watch children and we watch their parents and we see how many of their habits and gestures and those little things come from what they've seen at home. Okay, so again, please, schoolwork is non-negotiable, online learning has to happen, and assignments must be handed in by their due date or due times. In nursery and kindergarten, in kindergarten and class 1, the timing is 8 o'clock. Each assignment has a time. Please view that time and make sure it's done at that time. We've kept it more flexible for the older children because I know sometimes there is computer use. Younger kids are on the computers. Older kids are awake late at night. They prefer to work at night. So their assignments are due sometimes even the next day. But they must be handed in by the due time. So schedules, routines, attitude, those come from you and those make all the difference in how well your child will do in school. We need to work on this together. We're one team. Thank you all for your support, and I look forward to a wonderful year, and I look forward to welcoming you all back to school after this online phase is over. Thank you.